Dave here. How are you? Okay, I'm already seeing all the comments about what is Vegemite. Well, I'll get into that a little bit later on in the show. It's just that I've had a few people, because we've become an international show and a whole lot of people from different countries, that's obviously international, they're asking what Vegemite is. Now, if you've heard of Promite or Marmite, well, Vegemite's the same kind of thing. It is a yeast extract, and I believe it is, after they've been brewing beer, it's the black sludge at the bottom of the vat. And they scoop it up and put it into bottles and sell it to us Australians. We quite like it. We're all raised on it, so we're used to it. I guess you could also use it for grease if you wanted to, but we're quite fond of it. Now, what's in the show today? Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's well. And today is the 12th of August. Isn't the year kicking on? 2018, just after 11 o'clock. Australian Eastern Standard Time. What have we got today? I have put a link in down below. So if you click the show more button below here, you will see I've put a link to a pocket hole screw selector. Now, it's not an app, but you can save it onto your phone. I saved it onto my mobile phone and put a link to it. And so it's very, very good. And as I say, have a look down there, slide down, you go past all the different things that are happening, and you'll see it says pocket hole screw selector, online pocket hole screw selector. It's not mine, it's someone else's, but I thought, what a great idea. And it will let you do a right angle corner or just a straight join. So it's set for all of that stuff. Very, very handy. I have been doing a little bit of reading here, and first thing I want to do is say hello to poor old Deb, who is laid up in hospital with a new knee, and she's going to start rehab tomorrow. So she's been very bored waiting for the show to start, because there's not much else for her to do in the hospital. You know, I don't know that she can't take her Stanton bench in there, or a table saw, or anything like that. She can't take a drill. She's just got to be a body laying on a table waiting for bits to heal. So we're all thinking about you, and I'm glad to see that 10 toes up, as Carl said. All right, so online pocket hole screw selector there. New giveaway to be announced. And let's do it now. It's going to be this bad boy. So you guys, I've been showing you how to use this over the last couple of weeks. And it's Carbotech's turn to do something. As I said, Carbotech have said they'll jump in once a month and they'll do a giveaway. And this one was actually over the dollar value, but I spoke to some of the guys further up the tree than me, and they said, not a problem, Dave. That'll be fine. So that's closed internationally. It's closed for Australia and New Zealand. So I'm sorry about that, but it's just the shipping out to overseas is, we got to have to think about it as far as the company's concerned. They are a company that's based in Australia and New Zealand, hence they advertise in those areas. They don't advertise outside of it. So it's in their net, could you say? All right, so that's that, and thank you very much, Carbotech, for doing that. They don't have to give it to me. They don't have to say, yeah, Dave, go and do this. I'm asking them on your behalf. There was nothing this week. I didn't have a giveaway this week, so this week coming. Now, the link also for that giveaway is in the description box, or where it says show more. More amazing items from Yellowbox Shed. Now, Canberra Hospital seems to be full of my subscribers. John was there last week. He's out again, and he's got his machines running again. So there's all sorts of things, and I'm going to show you those a little bit later on in the show. Something that I didn't put on the list of what's going to be happening is cleaning up the brass on my rider planes. I've cleaned one up. I'll tell you what, it didn't take long. It took a couple of seconds, as a matter of fact. But man, oh man, doesn't it make you feel like you've got some exclusive gear in your hand? I'll tell you what. Okay, the workshop stethoscope. That's going to be an interesting one, and we'll go through that a little bit as well. So let me have a look. See, I'm going to do a quick read, see if everyone's still here. Can use it as stain for wood. You probably could. They're talking about Vegemite, raw oysters. You can have Vegemite with oysters. Did you know that? You can warm it up, make it a little bit slippery, and pour it in. It's very, very nice. It's a very savory taste. Hospital food is yum. Hello from Missouri, from M-Track. Govinda, peanut butter and Vegemite. No, Govinda. Always peanut butter and tomato, Vegemite and cheese. Got to get it right. Sub the other channel. Thank you. Oh, right. Reminding me. Thank you very much. I've got about 320 subscribers on the other channel. Now, the other channel is where I take all of these videos. After a week, they've been on this main channel, and I put them over there, because otherwise, if all of these videos were on the main channel, you would just get bogged down. There's 52 a year of these videos, and it's just crazy. That's why I shunt them over to the other channel, and you can watch them at your leisure. You can go back through if there was something you think, oh, now what was that? I try and put in the title what was in the video. There's not a lot I can do on a title. You know, you're limited to around about 70 letters. So I give you a little bit of a hint, and you might remember, oh, that's the one Dave looked at the dial indicator for instance. And that'd be great. So if you can subscribe to that channel, I would like to get it over 1,000 subscribers. That'd be fantastic. As I say, at the moment it's 324, but I'm just wondering how many new people have come in to watch the show, whether they were aware or not that that's where all of the archive shows go to. So I think there's at least 1 year's worth of shows there, maybe a little bit more. Next thing, peanut butter and lettuce is great. So is celery and peanut butter. Have you tried that? Actually, here we go, over the top. Celery, peanut butter, and cream cheese. Or yeah, that'll do it. Cream cheese and peanut butter mixed together, whip it up, and then on celery. You won't eat anything else for the rest of your life. You'll love it. Okay, a teaspoon of Vegemite, great in a beef casserole, or a teaspoon of Vegemite with boiling water as a drink in a coffee cup. Very, very nice. Barry's not here. Benny, he's up watching the netball with my wife. He sits on the couch beside her, and they watch the TV together. They watch netball on Sundays. All right, what else have we got here? Stuart, John, do you ever sleep, or is your bed next to the printer? Okay, you guys are all going to go crazy. Well, Barry will be making another appearance before he dies. Yeah, just give me that one. But he's very comfortable. It's pretty cold out here, so if I brought him down here when I had the Vegemite out, we wouldn't get any show because he loves Vegemite. Now, there's something that you probably didn't realize. Pugs love Vegemite. I don't know if pugs from other countries love Vegemite, but Barry does. All right, wood dust is coming. Details in the show, and I've told you I would talk about that in the show. Wood Dust is a festival of woodworking that's going to be down at Queanbeyan and Bungendore. That's near Canberra in the ACT, Australian Capital Territory. I think Queanbeyan is in New South Wales. I'm not 100% sure, but all these questions about what's netball, what's Vegemite. You guys, we'll have to call this show Let's Get Educated About Australian Ways. Netball's like basketball, a little bit, but you can't step. So you know, with basketball, you can run along and dribble the ball and what have you. In netball, you're allowed one step. And a step more than that, it's called travel, ball to the other team. So there's a whole lot of other rules as well, but yeah, you watch it. It's a fast game when you watch the elite lot. And just about every girl in Australia has played netball at one stage in her life. And also they play mixed games, and some guys play it as well. But it's good fun. Okay. Yes, correct, respects in wood. All right, I'm reading more. So yeah, it is in New South Wales for Queanbeyan. Thank you very much. Queanbeyan is in New South Wales. So that's on the 17th to the 21st of October. Now, John Madden, who's a good friend of mine, is one of the organisers, and he's asked me if I can give it a bit of a wrap. And he's also invited me to go down there on the show, and I will probably broadcast my live show from the Wood Dust Festival. So if you want to meet me, drop in, say good day. That'd be fantastic. I'd love to meet everyone in that area. I've done a big meet-up with a lot of people in Melbourne around about 4 months ago, and that was great. And so if we could do that at Canberra, that'd be fantastic. So I will be there in October, hopefully. And I'll tell you who's going to be there as well while I've got the thing happening. Michael Fortune, Karen Carter, Matt Kenny, Andy Buck, Thomas Lee Nielsen, Vic Tesselin, Chelsea Lemon, Terry Gordon, Ross Annals, Bern Chandley, Chris Vesper, Carol Russell, Robert Howard, Robin Lewis, and Hiroshi Yamaguchi. Now, these are all people that are people to know in the woodworking society. And if you want to meet them, well, and I think some of them are doing classes down there as well, jump onto the website. I think I put a link in the show more area down the bottom. You can click on that, and if you weren't aware of Wood Dust coming along, it's going to be a big event. And at Bungendore, there's also a gallery, and it really opened my eyes as to what you can do with wood. Now, I've been criticized for saying timber. Yeah, I've been told timber is what you build houses with, wood is what you make furniture with. Well, you know my thoughts on that. It's leftover tree. All right, what's the next thing? Put some most details later. I have. They're already there. I'm pretty sure I have. Okay, second, channel needs subs. I already talked about that. The chat, that's what we're doing down the side here. You guys just knock yourselves out. Have a ball. The forum's there for you to use. You can talk to each other. Of course, you can ask each other for email addresses if you want to and talk outside of this. Your call. It's the internet. Do whatever you want. And Patreon, check out the rewards that I'm offering and behind the scenes gossip. Now, you'll notice in Patreon just recently, I put a post there of all the videos that I want to get done over the next couple of months. And I'm going to be very, very busy with it. I didn't get anything done this month or this week because I had a stock take that I had to do for the people that I work for during the week. And I was under the pump with that. So I scraped together some short clips that I had of Barry. And one of them was where he was watching me have dinner the other night, and I flicked him a little bit of meat. And he hasn't got teeth. And it was funny watching him trying to chew it, and his tongue's falling out all over the place. And when he'd finished, he was looked down on the floor to see if there was any more. And there's other things in that little clip as well. So have a look. Might put a smile on your face. All right. Photos from where you're watching, projects you're building in your shop, animals in your shop, all that kind of stuff. I really do want to get some of these photos and for you to share what you're doing with the rest of the guys here. When I say guys, it means guys and girls. Guys, I just use as a I was going to say as a bisexual thing. No, by meaning both sexes. You know, I get things wrong. Not even metrosexual, is it? What is it? Anyway, boys and girls. It's a saying. It's what I call all my daughters. I've called them guys all my life. Okay, I think that is about it. So let's have a bit of a look at, shall we start off with Vegemite? Why not? Oh, the other thing I was going to do is I'm going to do some safety tips on the jointer. That's going to be worthwhile hanging around for, because one of the members in the Dave Stanton live stream Facebook page, and if you want to get into there, there's a link down the bottom. Click that, and I do vet all the entrants that come into it. And so the people we've got in there, they're lovely people. And I try and keep trolls out and just keep it so it's a really nice society. So I'm going to be going through the jointer, when to use push blocks, when not to use push blocks, and just some general common sense with a jointer. So I'll be doing that as well before the show finishes. We're 15 minutes into the show, and I haven't really done much. So how about we get the Vegemite out? Now, this is Vegemite, and it is good for you, or so they would have you believe. Now, I've got a picture here, I think, of the Vegemite info. Now, that is your allowance. Now, if you have a look down the right-hand side, that's 100 grams. And the bottle is, I'll put the specs back on. The bottle is 400 grams, and they say there's 80 serves in a bottle. So on the second from the left, it says how much you should have in one serve, which is 5 grams. Now, I don't know how much that is in ounces, but I do have a set of scales with me here. So you guys keep on reading all that stuff, and I'm setting up a little display. I'm crazy. I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's going to be fun. I'm setting up a little display about how Australians eat Vegemite. I'm mental. Alrighty. This is the thing they do to tourists. All right, I'm going to bring the camera back over to me. Don't forget to help Dave out. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. That's great. We're coming back to me. All right. You can see I have a plate here, and you probably can't see that there's some cheese. See underneath my shadow there, you can see there's a piece of cheese. It's magic cheese. disappears, returns. Okay, I have some, what you guys in the States would call crackers. Just these are brown rice, multi-grain rice crackers. And I have here Vegemite, and I also have here a set of scales. Now I'm going to weigh, well, first of all, I'll show you that Vegemite won't kill you. It's, I'm going to put some on my knife here. And I would put about that much on a knife. And I'm going to see how much that weighs. Now I know that the knife weighs 78 grams. So I'm waiting for the scales to recorrect. Okay, putting the knife on, that takes it up to 80. So that's 2 grams. So that is just under half of a serve. All right, now I'm going to put that on there, like so. You saw me do that. I didn't try and hide it off the side there at all. And I've got some cheese. So, as I say, a little bit of cheese. Put that over the top. And here we go. You ready? I'm going to eat it. Yum. Now that is really, really nice. Now, I'm going to do something that I don't recommend you do. I reckon that much Vegemite, which is almost a teaspoon, would be a serve. So I'm going to put it on the scales. And that says 83. And I know that knife weighs 78. You ready? Gone. Absolutely beautiful. Love it. Now you do that to a tourist and they're going to throw up. I was raised on it. It's like Steve Irwin. You know, he'd been bitten by so many snakes that he was immune to them. You know, snakes would bite him and he'd just feel a bit dizzy for a minute. Wasn't so good with stingrays. But for the rest of them, you get what I'm saying. Introduced to a little bit of it as you've been growing up all your life, and it's fun. I'm going to have some more. It's beautiful. I love it. Here's another one. What do you reckon? A little bit of cheese. And a biscuit. Call us weird if you want. Oh, can't stop. There we go. That's enough. So it's not a fantasy. We love it. I'm only going to have some of this just to wash my mouth out. That's not Vegemite antidote. That's just a bit of lemonade. Vegemite to an Australian is like caviar. You know, you put that on some toast and then melt some cheese over the top of it. And you've won me. You've won me. If you serve me that stuff, I'd love it. So there we go. Hopefully that's dispelled a whole lot of myth. Vegemite is absolutely beautiful. If you would, I was just about to say, if you were to give me a T-bone steak and put beside it a slice of toast with some Vegemite on it, I'd take the Vegemite. How crazy is that? All right, here we go. Looks like you could lube your auto with it. You could. I'm going to start reading down the side here because that was a bit of fun. Okay, Tim, lol, Ian, Vegemite straight off the spoon. Yes, Carl, looks like axle grease. It does. Zane, you are making Americans toe curl all around the world. You're turning green. No, I'm not, Judge. I'm fine. I love it. Barry, did it put hairs on your chest? Well, eventually, I think testosterone also added to that as I turned into a teenager. But there you go. Brutal joke. Who'd that be? Steve Irwin was stabbed by a stingray and is not bitten. Correct. Leroy, please put your eye muffs on Dave's. Good call, Leroy. Respects. Well, Dave needs a spin-off channel of just eating Aussie food. Definitely. Is that really Vegemite? It sure is. I love Vegemite. Tim, we were brought up on as kids Vegemite and peanut butter. Yes, I had veggie this morning, actually. Good on you, Sam. Michael Jamison singing in Late Shed is like a magnet to too much Vegemite for me, yes. What kind of oil is this Nutella stuff like? Well, that was fun. I'm still licking my lips. I could have some more quite easily. Do you dare me? Why not? Why not? You guys don't think it's Vegemite. I'll show you. Here we go. Straight down the center. That's it. It's black as black as black as black. I'll turn the camera around towards me so you don't think I'm cheating. There we go. Straight out of there. You like that? Straight in. Jump. Yummy. Alrighty. I'm going to turn that down a little bit to there and back that way. Lovely. All right. Don't spill it on your chest, it'll also burn the hair off. Now, the only problem with having a beard and a moustache, some foods I'll just have to walk away from it. Yes, there's plenty of folate in Vegemite. It's beautiful. Okay, so I have to walk away from some foods, and I've got to be careful. As you get older, obviously, and your hair starts going grey, it shows up more. When I was younger and I had a dark beard, I could eat Vegemite till the cows come home. Okay, here we go. When 100 points, it is salty, definitely. Let's swing the cameras around to the other side here, and we'll have a look at some of the stuff from John. I'll get the other camera ready. There we go. All right, now the other week I showed some stuff from John. I'll move this camera out of the way. And it was these guys. It was for 90 millimeter, basically what we call stormwater pipe. So that was for sliding onto the end, and also for going into a elbow, so the female section. Now, something I hadn't realized was that John has created a taper on all of these. So, at the beginning, it's a loose fit, but as you push it in, it increases in diameter, and it's a better fit. So that was very, very clever. I had made the comment that 90 mil stormwater I don't use much as in dust extraction, but whatever you can use. So this is 4-inch PVC or 100 millimeter, whatever you want to call it. And he's made some fittings for that as well. It's the same deal. They are tapered. I'll bring it up closer so you may be able to see it. I'll come around this side. And he's put a little sign on it as well as to what it is. But can you see the taper on it? On the side. Just there. Whoop. And also, it's tapered on the inside as well. So that's very clever, John. So that one slides up over there. And at the beginning it's tight. Oh, sorry, at the beginning it's fine. And then it just gets tight. And when you push it in, he's made it so, if you have a look down inside, you can see the PVC pipe has come up to around about there inside the collar. So it's a great fit. It just gets that little bit tighter every time you do it. Oh, I'm starting to get a yearning for a bit more Vegemite. Okay, so this one is designed to go inside the elbows, but I don't have any 4-inch elbows here at the moment. But very, very, very clever man. He's also made some double-length dogs. Now these things you could use instead of path dogs, because on my Stanton bench I've designed these. I don't know if you can see it from there. The skirt that locks onto the front. You could use these instead of those big heavy stainless steel path dogs, and these would be a whole lot more economical for you to buy than those. You could get those if you wanted to for the top of the bench and use this for locking, or you could just get these instead, whatever you want to do. All right, now then we're going to come, so we've done all those things there, and he's got more things that he's making at the moment as well, and I will show you more of those as the weeks come by. We're going to have a look at these. Now these are a 3-prong. You can see the 3-prong there. I'm trying to catch a little bit of reading at the same time. And they're a tapered wedge. Now these are designed if you want to lock something down. I don't know if you can see. That's the fat end and this is the thinner end. You can see that. And he's even got R printed into it. So there's an L and an R, which is fantastic. And these are designed to go onto the bench, and I can hold things with it. So I've got the left and the right, and the wedges that go in there are also identified with an L and an R. These very clever. So there's the R wedge with no pins, and there's the L with no pins, just to make sure it was no sleight of hand. You can see R and L. All right. Now, don't try and put them in back to front, because that would just be silly. You put them in this way, and they will grab hold. Let me put a piece of timber in there. I'm going to put some skinny wood in there, and you just push. Done. Then you get your, well, this is my 62. So that holds it quite well. And look at the beautiful shavings that come out of that plane. I love it. Now I'm going to tap this out. Done. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I want to plane this surface as well, and that's a whole lot wider than this skinny piece. Anyone can plane a skinny piece. Well, how about we move it one set of dogs away? And he's made these things. More tapered bad boys, left and right. These are packers. And he's also made some skinny left and right short. And he's also made some shorter left and right with the twin dog holes. And they've all got, oh, you didn't print them in those ones, John. Maybe you should. They've also got these little finger recesses here. So to pull them out, I can put my finger around, pull them out. Done. So we'll put those over to the side for the moment. We've got our thicker piece of timber, so we're going to put that in the middle. And look at that. Locked. Now, let's see if I can plane it while it's there. Come on. Beautiful. Look at that. I don't bring it over. I always get excited about this stuff. Am I a weirdo? I think I must be a weirdo. Who else gets excited about a piece of timber that I can see through almost? I'm sure if I was to put that up to a light, I'd be able to see through it. There you go. In the middle, you can see through it. There you go. So that's John's latest inventions. So, look, they're not his latest, but they're his improvement. One of the things I like about John is he never sits back and says, well, that'll do. His mind is always, he's a crazy man. It's always going. I'm just looking at where the camera's aiming at the moment there. Pull this back a little bit, because I can. Right. What next to do? What next? I'll have a quick read. So I'll get this up here and have a quick read, and then I'm going to show you some other things. Where are we up to? Vegemite with butter, 2 Vita-Wheats. Oh yeah, remember as kids, Vita-Wheats, you'd squeeze it together and the black stuff would come like worms. Yeah, that's what we used to squeeze it together. Oh, look at the worms coming out. Ha! My line wife declares it's the same Marmite she gets the $2 to live near a British store. Okay, Marmite and Promite are much sweeter. Vegemite's much more savoury. Once again, the correct way to eat is with large beer and thick spread on toast. Throw the Vegemite and toast in trash and just drink the beer. I don't think so. Dave Weber, what is it, kangaroo? No. Sounds tasty. Double length this week. Great idea. Barry, okay, John Lowry. John Lafferty, you do not stop amazing me. Govinda, John Lafferty, can you please take me as your student? There's a compliment for you, John. Great stuff from Tim. Respects, would love the sound effects. Barry, the bench moves, not the dogs. Great idea, John. Yes, that is testament to how good it is, because you know that this bench holds pretty well. If I was setting this up and planing across the bench, there's no movement because I've got the skirt down the side here. But even along that way, if I'm pushing just straight that way, but if I can push across what I'm doing, that works really well. And here's another thought for you. John, how about you think about making some of these that go across the bench at 45 degrees? There's a challenge for you. Because I know Peter Parfitt has come up with a little isometric style of his bench top, and probably just for a layout of the way he does the dogs. And that's pretty smart. What have we got next here? Tim G, great stuff, John. Respects, would love the sound effects. Joe Ferrone, Chris Schwartz, Russ Albright, great job, John. You always think outside of the box and come up with great products. All right, now, I'm going to do something which may seem a little bit strange. I'm going to clean something. You know, it's not like me to want clean things. So I'm going to take that off there, and I'm going to show you what happened this morning. Now this is how, see that the brass, that's how this arrived. I just had to play around with it this morning and did that. Now it took about a minute. What do you reckon? Challenge is accepted, eh? There is already rubber there, Tim. If you have a look at get the plans, you'll see it's all been approved, all been sorted. Now, I don't have Brasso, I have Silvo. And I said to Vicky, oh, you know, I'm looking for some Brasso. We got, and she said, no, I've only got Silvo. It may not work. And see, all it is a polish, really. It's an abrasive suspended in a fluid of some sort to be able to give it slip. And that fluid's got to be able to nick off at the end. So I'm going to take the brass screw out of the cap of the 62, and I'm going to move these out of the way. I love this. So who's going to go to wood dust? Anyone going to go to wood dust? I am. It'll be great fun. I'll move these out of the way. How good is that? They pop out beautifully. They go in fine. That's two things. That's John's printing and his ability with the printer, and also it's the accuracy of the UJK Pathguide system, and also whoever's doing it. That does come into it big time. All right, some paper. I've got some paper over here. Now all I do is I use a couple of paper hand towels. They say to shake this up because remember, it's a polishing agent that's basically an abrasive, so it will settle to the bottom of the can. If you don't shake it up, it's not going to go into a suspended state. That sounded as though I knew what I was talking about. So I'm going to put a bit of polish on there. You don't need a lot. And then I'm going to put it on here. I'll do it in front of the camera. Look at that. And it is working because you can see the black stuff coming off. So I've got this area here that hasn't really been cleaned much. So let's hit that. What do you reckon? How nice, how nice, how nice. And it hasn't been touched around the back. Give it a... Beautiful. And across the front. Lovely, 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 lovely. Yeah, okay. I wonder if I use Vegemite for cleaning the brass, whether that would work. I don't know. All right, so that's just beautiful. It's shining like you wouldn't believe. The military would be proud of me. I've got the knob there. I'm going to give that a try. Now, I'm also going to try something else. There's areas that are kind of a rough finish Now, I should really be wearing gloves doing this. What do we got? Oh, we're going well as far as time's concerned. Now, obviously, there's something else in there as well, not just a polish. I'm going to try it with a little nail brush. Okay, that's the ticket. Turning it sideways. I'm pulling it across the thread. Wow, look at this. I'm going to get another one out in a second. I'll show you what I mean. So all I'm doing is holding it like that, and I'm pulling it down across the area that's kind of got the grip on it for your thumb. And it's working because the brush is going black. These are called a surgical brush, and they're brilliant. They come in a pack of 6 or 10. Buy them. They're absolutely fantastic. So that didn't take long. I can put that back wherever it came from. I've got to remember where it came from. That's right, it came from the top of that. What do you reckon? Kidding aside, with ingredients of Vegemite, it's supposed to be sweet spread of a salty type thing. Yes, and would clean just as well, possibly. Well, Dave, that did not take much. It doesn't. Matthew Warner reminds me of my GI belts had brass buckles. That's what I was talking about military. You know, my daughter was also in the military for a while, one of my daughters, and I remember when I used to visit her, that everything had to be polished. It's just a form of discipline. They didn't really care if you went into battle with, you know, everything filthy, but it just set the scene for, you know, everything else. That is beautiful. And that's silver, that's not brasso. Imagine if I'd use the real stuff. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to try it on is in here. I'll bring this over, you can have a look. So this is the dippled or stippled area, whatever you want to call the brass that hasn't been polished. It's basically straight out of the mold. So I'm going to do that. It'd be better with a toothbrush. We're going to keep on talking about toothbrushes, aren't we? Shake it up again. So Matt, did you have many parades that you had to appear with everything spot on, shiny as shiny? I'm going to spread it around with that. Now you guys saw what it was like prior. A bit more. I'm going to try and get in there with the brush. I reckon a toothbrush would be perfect for this, but I don't have one. Well, not down here anyway. I might have created a headache for myself here. It may not clean out. Yeah, it's not coming up nearly as well as the stuff that's been given a flatter surface. Oh, look at that. How many of you are going to get out in the shed this afternoon? Well, those that can walk, and have a go at tidying up some of your brass on your planes, or if you've got brass on your planes. Have a look at that. I'll get another piece of this. I know it's not very exciting, but I like it. Silver is slightly finer than brasso, is it? All this information is great. There you go. What do you think of that? I love it. Alrighty, well that's going to do me as far as those are concerned. I could take the knob off there and do it, but I'm going to run out of time. So I want to move on to the next thing. We might come back to this if I have a bit more time. I'm going to flick back over to the other camera again, and then we're going to have a look at the jointer, I think. Go to the other camera, which is back here, and it's way too far away. It's over there because I moved it out of the way. And I reckon about there. That might work. That might work. Beautiful. All right. So, what have we done? What have we done today? We've had a bit of a chat. We've had a look at the wedges and the longer dogs and the connectors for going from a PVC pipe to a flexible hose. We've had a look at cleaning up some brass using some silvo on different parts of a plane. Some people won't be all that fussed with that. They'll say, look, it's a hand tool, Dave, and that's all there is to it. It doesn't need to be cleaned. But that's what I was saying about the military as well. They can go out and do whatever they have to do with dirty clothes or clean clothes, but its presentation is nice. That's one of the reasons why I like Festool. You go to a customer's house or anyone's place, and you present well, and next thing you know, there is a whole heap of trust. It's just automatic. It happens. They say, well, if they have that respect and regard for their own tools, they'll probably have the same respect and regard for me as a customer. And that rings true so many times. All right, what's the next thing we're going to have a look at? Don't forget wood dust. I want you to go to wood dust. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's classes there as well if you want to go to one of the classes, or you can just go for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is going to be like a show, a fair, where people will be walking around eating fairy floss, eating sausage sizzles, and having a look at what's happening there. I'll be there with Carbotech for a couple of days, and also I'll be doing the live show. I hope to be doing the live show there on Sunday as well. Second channel needs subs. The giveaway, which is going to be the Align It. We're not closing the show up. I'm just going through recapping what we've done for people who come in late and are standing in the corner. And what else? Workshop stethoscope. Let's have a look at that. Let's see if I can find it here. First of all, let's have a look at wood dust. There you go. This is going to help you. That's what you will find on the wood dust page. Of course you will, John. This is one wacky show tonight. Well, it is. Everything's going to be different. Everything is. If it's the same old, it gets boring, doesn't it, Stuart? It's I enjoy mixing it up, and if someone's wanting to watch something that's very routine and to me sterile, well, this isn't your gig. This is not your gig at all. I will kind of flow along, and I'll get distracted very easily. I'll stop doing whatever I'm doing. I'll start reading comments like I'm doing now, and I will jump between one thing and another, like I just jumped to the wood dust picture instead of going to the stethoscope, and now I've got to get to the stethoscope. Here we go. There you go. Now, Dr. Greg would know what a stethoscope is, as would most of us would know what a stethoscope is, and it's for hearing. It is for hearing things that you wouldn't ordinarily be able to hear. So, did you know this is my stethoscope? I use this to listen to motors. Now, on my car, or in the steering pump on my mother-in-law's car, I listened all over. She thought there was some kind of a noise from somewhere. You put this against your ear and you touch it to the different parts of the motor. And that will give you a very, very, very accurate reading as to where the noise is coming from. You can put it on the front bearing of the steering pump. You can go around to the back bearing of the steering pump. And it will tell you which one is shot. They both might be shot, but Get what I'm saying? I mentioned this to someone during the week because I had one of the forum members, from Dave Stanton's live stream thing on Facebook, was concerned that the motor on their machine was stuffed. And I said, look, get a screwdriver and use it as a stethoscope. Go around the whole thing and search for the sound. If you can hear it in one point, you'll know which bearings are stuffed. You may be able to get it rebuilt, or whoever comes to fix it, you'll be able to give them a heads up. As it turned out, that person got back to me and said, I went over it all and I found out it wasn't the motor, it was a grub screw on the pulley at the front. Now, I'm not suggesting you put your ear up against the spinning pulley, but if you can put it on the outside, as I say, around about, and you can discount areas. You can say, right, well that one, that's not the problem there. Let's go searching further on. So it helps you isolate a noise very, very quickly. So there's a tip. I don't know whether other people, I'm going to do a little read here. Dave, who makes the wedges? Joe Ferroni. If you have a look down the bottom, you'll see Yellowbox Shed is one of the businesses who support the channel, and they support it in a manner of sending me these things up for me to show you things. And I also get to hold on to them and I play with them here. So Yellowbox Shed, and that'll be John. John's actually watching the show at the moment. He's in the side here, John Lafferty. You can contact him and you can order whatever you want. But these things, John puts an awful lot of effort into what he does. And he and I were having a chat this morning about something else that he'd made and sent up to me. And I'm not going to show it yet because there was a little bit of a discrepancy from the one that he made and the one that I received. So he's like that. He likes to get it absolutely perfect, and then he'll flick me one up, and then I'll tell everyone here what it was. So have a look there. Let me down through here. Dynamax, so the joke is you can do almost anything with Vegemite. Well, yes. Everyone knows that. Jay Parrott, I've used a piece of hose to hear motor noise. Works well. Yes, that will do it as well. Screwdriver is great to listen to your plumbing pipe anyway. In your house to hear if you have a leak. Yes. Okay, someone else is listening for termites. No, you won't hear a termite. They are the quiet, deadly little bastards. I'm not a fan of termites. Everything has its place though. They break timber down in the bush, wood down in the bush, trees, stumps, what have you. Eventually, they eat it all. They're part of the cycle. They're part of the food chain. Birds eat them. Okay, not a problem. Patrick, Dave, put your watch on a table and use the screwdriver at the other end and you can hear it tick perfectly. I've used that trick with the screwdriver in the past. There you go. Zane, John is watching from home, not hospital this time. And thank heavens. Thank heavens. I also use a screwdriver on my motors. So hopefully everyone else who is watching, no, Vegemite is not edible duct tape. Vegemite is something for the connoisseur of Jatz biscuits, crackers, whatever you want to call them, and cheese. And if you want to make a broth, if you're not feeling well, you can have a glass of hot Vegemite. I was given that often as a child when I had a cold. Have a glass of warm Vegemite. You'd think I'm kidding. It's true. I loved it. So I'm going to swing the camera over to the jointer. Stick with me. We're going to have some more fun. First of all, I'm going to move this camera over here so you won't be seeing anything for a moment. I've got to switch that camera on up the top there so I can actually see it. That's looking a bit better. And back over to there, I think, is where it's got to go. Yes, that should do. And now I'm going to flick the cameras over to the other side so you can see what's happening. Transition. There it is. Mr. Big Stuff from Cambodia. Hello there. Okay, just use okay. I use a mechanic stethoscope. Edible duct tape you can use for everything. All right. Enough with the Vegemite. Let's get on to the jointer. I'm hoping you can see everything happening here, and I may be in the image. All right. I'm going to make sure I don't trip over a cable. Now, the jointer, the first thing you have to do is to make sure that whatever size timber you're going to use, don't expose too much of the bed. There's an accident waiting to happen now. I don't need to have the whole 8 inches of that cutter head exposed. What I can do is I'll push that piece of timber on the side there, is I can release the back and I can slide it forwards and close up until I've got what I need. The only real reason you'd need to have more open and exposed is if you know that you've got part of the teeth, part of the head is blunt there. So you may want to present another part of the cutting area. Next thing to do is to make sure it is square. Now mine is, I've moved my jointer down here recently. Remember, it used to be up the other end with the thicknesser, or the thickness planer, or whatever you want to call it. So I have a little bit of a gap at the bottom, so I'm not 90 degrees, I'm negative about half a degree. So I have to release the head there and ever so slightly tip it back and see if I can lock it. And you know what? It didn't do it. I need to push it back a little harder. There we go, that moved. And I can lock it now. Oh, that's beautiful. This is one of those squares. As I said, I gave a set of 3 of these. This is one of the prizes that Carbotech gave away before. And I think it was Julie Lark won the set of 3. I'm going to check the front and the back, and that is good. That, which means that my tables, my outfeed and my infeed table, are both co-planar or co-parallel, whatever you want to say. But they're not like this. They are both perfectly in line that way. All right. Now, because I've got that set like that, I feel a whole lot better about pushing something over here. If this timber, I'm going to show you from the side here, if this timber decides to roll, and my hands roll off the side, my hands aren't going to go onto the blade. They're going to go out past the side of the jointer. Now this piece of timber I would do by hand. I would not use push blocks with this. I don't have enough control. So it might start rocking around, and if this timber was, say, 1 inch wide, even more dangerous to use push blocks. I'm a fair distance up. This timber is around 6 inches high, 150. This wood, let me say, is about 150 millimeters up. So I have plenty of control, and my fingers even here, you can see they're only halfway down. Now I want to be able to push in against the fence and down against the outfeed table, not so much on the infeed table. That's the area that all the work's being done. Remember, I've said in a video I did about using a jointer, all this is a dirty big plane, but instead of this way, it's been turned upside down. And I'm pushing timber over the plane instead of the right way, me pushing the timber over the plane over the top of the timber. If you've got me. All right. Now, the other thing is, when you're going to put timber over a jointer, make sure it's not like this side. This side has got a bow like that, which means it will rock on here. See that? You get one side straight. Normally there'll be a cup of some sort or a warp of some sort, and the thing is to have the board either dead flat or a kind of an arc with the top of the arc up, like something like the Harbour Bridge. I always explain it that way. So there's no rocking on it. Now I don't have the dust extractor hooked up to this at the moment. I haven't got it done yet. I am going to put it over the machine just to show you how easy it is, and then we'll tip the timber over flat, and we'll dress that side as well. On this particular machine here, the switch, you don't have to push this down to release this. There's a little button on the side here. I push that in and it pops up. So I'm going to start it up. I need to put a new drive belt on this machine. That's about all. I'm away from the cutter head, turning it on, nice and quiet. Here we go. Pushing down. And at this point here, I do not put my hand over the back. I always keep it on top and pushing down, because if I was lower down, my heel could get cut. The heel of my... Turn her off. And I have an absolutely beautiful cut and no snipe on my machine. I set them up nicely. Now the other side, and this is Jarrah, it's very, very, very hard Australian hardwood from Western Australia. I am now going to move the fence back because that piece of timber is, I'm going to use that to give me a bit of a guide, wider than what I've got exposed, and it's about there. I'm going to lock it in position and it still stays square. That's lovely. And you try and go so that the cut is, this is really, really straight grain, so it's not going to worry me. Now I'm going to use the push blocks this time because I'm down a whole lot lower and I still want to be able to push it against the fence. Some people would be happy doing it, by hand, but in this situation, why not use the push blocks? There's no chance of this timber rocking. No chance whatsoever. So I'm going to use the push blocks. And again, it's a good idea never to have the timber touching the guard. We call this a mutton chop in Australia. Keep it back from it, start her up, and I haven't changed the depth of cut. Here we go. All right, pushing in. Now, don't take your hand off the timber. Come back behind it. Keep pushing. Always have the weight pushing onto the outfeed. And passed. And there you are, my friends. What a beautiful finish this machine does. All right, that's enough on using a jointer. Notice no dust extraction. Look at the rubbish I'm going to have to clean up. Some people would be happy with that, but all this dust that's blown back this way ordinarily would have been pulled down through the jaws there. I have got the room air filter running at the moment. All right, round to the other side. It's just about time to close the shop up. Where are we up to? Transition to there. I'm going to tip that up ever so slightly. And up to about there. Let's see, what have we got happening here? Matt Warner, alas, this afternoon has been and gone. Darren Elliott, safety glasses, Dave. Yep, I could wear safety glasses there as well. The mutton chop does an awful lot of coverage. It covers any part of the blade that's not exposed. I would be very, very, very unlucky to have anything come off that machine, especially with the helical head. It's all extremely fine dust. But, at the same, never say never. It could happen. So, yeah, I should have worn the safety glasses. I should have put the eye muffs on. I'll put them on now for the rest of the show. There we go. How's that? There we go. I've got the eye muffs on. I'm going to keep reading. Okay. Should get John Wilson to do a safety demo. Jarrah, good fire with Dave. Envy of choices on the East Coast. Should get John Wilson to do that. All right. My joiner is having a week off. Dynamax. Wow, neat playing a trick, Dave. Carl, I remember Vietnam. Nothing pleasant about it. Lost a lot of friends there. I'll take these off. My mum used to give me whiskey, lemon and honey for a cold. 5 years old. Well, there you go. That's what's happened, Stu. Greg, no fingers trimmed. No, none at all. Respects wood. Dave, how do you get, it's bouncing around a bit here. How do you get the jointer over the bowed end? You run it through a table saw. So you run it so that the side is parallel. If you want to, you can just drop it down pull the guard out, drop it in the center a couple of times and try and create that hump. But it's so much safer to put it over a table saw, to cut that bow off and then put it over the jointer. And then you end up with a parallel board as well. Thanks for the efforts as always. Great demo. Hey, Dave, Michael Chris says, love the demo. I'm scared of the jointer at the men's shed. Whoops, wrong member. Adventures in Wood. Great show, Dave. Thank you. Do you ever use blade dampeners on the table saw to reduce noise? No, I haven't. Wonder which Aussie delicacy will feature next week. Excellent. You look very safe now. Terry Lynn, there's an hour of our lives we'll never get back. There you go. You know what? I'm going to finish it off with another dollop of Vegemite. Why not? I love this stuff. There we go. Here's another one. Thanks for watching, everyone. And I'm hoping the outro wasn't too loud for you this week. I had a complaint last week. Look after yourselves. Be nice to each other. Have a great week. And anyone who's sick or in hospital, I hope you come better soon. Bye.